The Retrax 9 flush mount bed cover that we have here today is going to be one of your nicer manual retractable options on the site, available for your 2019 and newer Silverado, equipped with the short or standard bed lengths. Now, owners out there who might want to consider something like this will be the owners looking for that retractable style cover as opposed to other popular styles in the category, whether it be a tri-fold or maybe a rolling cover. Now, this Retrax is going to boast USA made construction along with a tough aluminum build, scratch resistant matte black powder coat, all for right around that $1,300 price point. So for owners who don't know, retractable covers such as this is really all Retrax does, hence the name of course, and they do it very well. Now they offer a few different options of similar style covers that will feature different materials and also powered versus manual options. Powered, obviously big baller stuff, really nice cover that basically opens and closes with a push of a button. That understandably will be a lot more money, but the Retrax 9 that we have on the table today, believe it or not, is the company's more budget-friendly option. Now that being said, it doesn't mean it's cheaply made. Quite the opposite. It's going to boast solid materials along with that easy-to-use retractable operation. You're simply going to yank on the cable and then slide the cover back into place. Now the cover is lockable in regards to being locked every time your tailgate is locked, and that, along with that tough one-piece aluminum build up top here, is really going to bolster the security for your bed cargo. Now moving into construction here, guys, and again, the material is going to be a durable aluminum for the actual bed cover part itself, but even more important is the fact that that cover is all one piece. So there's no joints, there's no hinges or any material that can eventually fail or wear out on you, and that design is something I really enjoy because even with those tri-folds, there are hinge points to the cover which can be easily defeated. Not the case here. Again, this is a really well-made option. Now that aluminum material has been given a textured matte or satin black powder coat depending on how the light hits it, and that is going to provide a long-term finish or long-term durability rather for that finish, along with maintaining a nice look over the years. Now moving to the canister, basically where the cover itself resides when it's not in use. Canister is also going to be made from that aluminum material. It's going to sit flush against the bulkhead of your bed, and it will sit flush with the bed rails of your Silverado for a very clean look once everything's been installed. Now Retrax does include some drains here that's going to help keep some water out of the bed, of course, once installed properly, and they do kick in all of the hardware needed for the no drill install. Now going even further with construction here, guys, Retrax does kick in some really nice rails that this thing operates on. Those rails feature sealed ball bearings in the rail system itself, and that does help this thing slide effortlessly, even with one hand, thanks to the single latch or locking mechanism. Now on that same topic, the locking mechanism can be secured in 3 preset locations here along the rails. So if you just need this thing fully closed, fully open, obviously that's doable for you, but even just maybe halfway, it's a great option. So if you handle or haul random size cargo at any given point, this is going to be a nice feature for you. Last but not least, guys, the cover is again built right here in the USA, and it is backed by a 2-year warranty in case you run into any issues. Price point for the Retrax 9 will live right around the $1,300 mark, give or take, guys, which does put this, I would say, in line with other high quality options, your mid to upper level options from companies like Back Industries, Undercover Flex, and so on. Now again, the Retrax 9 is the company's most affordable retractable option at the time of this video. But again, please don't take that the wrong way and just assume this thing is cheaply made, because that could not be further from the truth. All right, let's move into the installation here. Another nice thing to point out, this is a simple bolt-on job, really nothing too difficult about it. Therefore, the site's gonna call it a solid 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, taking you at least 20 minutes or so to complete from start to finish. But now to give you a better idea of how this one will go down on your Silverado at home, let's throw it out to the shop for our detailed walkthrough and tool breakdown.
What's up, guys? Today we're installing a tonneau cover on our Silverado, so let's get started. Now, the first thing we need to do is assemble our side rails. We have our locks, we have our clamps, and we have our end cap that we're gonna need to get on to our rail. So now once you have your rail, you're gonna find the end that has the screw hole. That's gonna be the back end of the truck. That's gonna be getting the end cap. So then once you have that figured out, we'll take our nuts. We have a side with the nylon and the side without. The side without is going to be facing up towards us during the assembly. So we're gonna take them, we're gonna slide 6 into the rail, into that little channel. And then we can take our end cap and slide it onto the end. Now these are side specific, there's only one way these can go on. So we'll slide that on, we'll grab one of our short bolts with our included Allen wrench. We'll get our nut centered up and then thread that bolt into the nut. Snug it up. And then we can flip this over. We have our screw hole all lined up. So we'll take our really small Allen head bolt and thread that into place. Then we can flip that back over. Next, we're going to install our stop. We have this square hole that's going to be facing inward. Now this lip is going to sit on the side of the rail, so we want this facing this way. And we'll take another one of our short bolts, thread that into our next nut. We'll just get that hand tight so it can still slide around. And then after our first stopper, we're going to have our clamp. So the side that has 2 holes here, we're going to take this adjustment screw and thread that in. And then this little notch is going to go into the rail. And we'll take our long Allen head bolt, put it through this top hole, and thread it into our nut. Once again, we're going to leave that hand tight so we can still slide it. And then we're just going to work our way down, alternating between stopper, clamp, stopper, clamp, stopper. Now you can repeat that same process for your other rail. So now I've gone ahead and lifted our canister into the bed. We've got it pushed all the way forward. And now we're ready to slide our rail into our canister. We have this little rectangular piece here with the hole going through it that we're going to be sliding our rail into using the same slot that we put all of those nuts in. Next, we're going to take our Torx ball and put it through the hole, through our rail and through the canister. So I've put this included Torx bit into a screwdriver, and now we can thread this into place. And then once we have that bolt in place, we're going to take our first stopper and push it all the way up against that bolt, and then we'll take the included Allen wrench to tighten down the bolt that we threaded into the nut earlier. Next, we can get our clamp in place. So first thing we're going to do is tighten up the bolt at the bottom to tighten this down to the rail. And then you're going to make this rail flat and tighten down your adjuster screw until it bottoms out. And then you can turn your clamp up. You might have to loosen it a little bit. You want that grooved side going up. And then you can take your Allen wrench and tighten your clamp down. Then once we have that in place, we're going to go to our second stopper. I'm going to line this up with this black grommet right here. and then tighten that down. And now we can move back to our next clamp as well as our last stopper. Now I'm gonna put this as close to the front as I can while still getting a good grip on the back. Now we can tighten down our next clamp. So we're gonna start with our bottom bolt. And then we can get our adjuster screw. And then we'll get our clamp into place and tighten that down. And then for our last stopper, we're just gonna get this all the way up against the edge there and then tighten that down. And then you can repeat that same process on the other side. So now the last thing we need to do is install our 2 drain tubes. We have 1 on each side, but before we do that, we wanna pull off this protective cover. Now I went ahead and started this. You don't have to watch 5 minutes of me pulling this off. So you can just work your way back and forth, pulling it back. Now the holes where we connect this are right here. It's underneath the canister, so it's gonna be really hard to get a shot on camera. We're just gonna push this up and into that hole. Now some trucks have grommets on the back that you can run these out of. This one doesn't, but we have a lot of drain holes here across the back. So I'm just gonna angle our tube over towards those. Then you can do that same thing on the other side. Now as an optional step, if you want to, you can drill out these bigger holes so that you can run your drain tubes through that. But for the purposes of this install, we're not gonna be doing that. So that'll wrap up this review and install of the Retrax iX flush mount retractable tonneau cover for your 2019 and newer Silverado 1500 with 5.8 foot short and 6.5 foot standard box. Thank you for watching, and for all things Silverado, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.